15 things that I am definitely not forgetting this time on my upcoming trip to Scotland in September. I am about a month and a half away, so doing all of the prep and planning. And I want to share with you a must-have guide, things that I learned the hard way that you definitely need to pack, especially going in the fall around September like I am. My first trip was pretty successful with my packing. A lot of things did go smoothly, but these are things I did not pack that I'm definitely packing on this trip. So let's get into what those are. All right, item number one. This one is gonna surprise you. You're gonna probably think, why in the world do you need this in such a cold place like Scotland? Believe me, especially if you are coming from the US, a little mini portable fan is gonna be your best friend. Here's why. Yes, it is chilly in Scotland. There were times when I was a little warmer, like in Edinburgh when I was walking around everywhere. I was the only one that took my jacket off, though, to be honest with you. It's pretty chilly most of the time. When you get up into the Highlands, it's even more cold, and there were definitely days I was freezing cold. However, it was the indoors that was sometimes a problem because they don't necessarily have air conditioning everywhere. In America, we are very used to air conditioning. It is a necessity to us. It is a luxury there in a lot of places in Europe and in the UK. A lot of their homes and the buildings there, they're historical and they were all built to hold in heat. So it's like being in an oven in some of these places. Even though it's freezing cold outside, it can be warm and toasty inside. And a lot of times they will handle it by opening windows to let in the breeze, and that feels really good. Honestly, when I was walking around the castles and the museums, I wasn't really hot. I was fine in there because there was enough airflow. There were windows open. It was more in a couple of the Airbnbs and hotels that I stayed in at night. That's when I started getting really stuffy to the point where I was kind of sick from no airflow. I felt terrible. I was miserable in a couple of the places. So anyway, that is where this will come in handy. Just kind of an emergency backup. I have this from Amazon. You can wear it around your neck. This really saved me at SeaWorld in Florida. Yes, a theme park on 4th of July. That was not very smart, but it was scorching hot and this was a lifesaver. So I'm gonna have this and one for my daughter on this trip. This is a must have and it is rechargeable. So you can just plug right in it and recharge. Definitely remember your outlet converters, but I did pack that on the first trip, so I won't be really talking about that in here. I just wanted to give you a reminder. They do have different electrical systems there, so you need a converter to go from the US to the UK ones. All right, item number two, better socks. Warm socks. So on my first trip, keep in mind, I'm a Florida girl. We pretty much wear flip-flops and sandals here most of the year. In the winter, maybe for a month or so, we wear cute boots or closed-toed shoes, but the rest of the year, it's open-toe sandals and flip-flops. In the winter, when I'm wearing boots, honestly, I just wear ankle socks. I don't have a lot of socks. The only thing my socks are for my tennis shoes if I go to the gym or I'm going to do a lot of walking workout. It's really to go with my tennis shoes. And I always had ankle socks. So that is what I packed on that Scotland trip with me. Bad idea. It was fine for places like Edinburgh where I was walking and I wasn't as freezing cold, but once I got up into the Highlands, there were times when my ankles were just exposed and it was freezing. If your feet are cold, the rest of you is going to be cold. So I really recommend warmer socks, not just warmer and thicker, but also just taller in general. Now, I have some like these, even if you don't want to wear them really tall, some that will cover your ankles still, maybe go over your pants or jeans or whatever you're wearing, but thick enough that you're going to stay warm. I really recommend merino wool. That is an excellent textile that is great for travel and especially for Scotland weather because it's going to be raining constantly. So you're going to see this constant theme of the rain and water repellent, water resistant things. And merino wool is really great for moisture wicking. It's really great also though for temperature control. So socks that are made with merino wool would be perfect. Or if you are like me, you just want to stick with those ankle socks, then some leg warmers maybe to just kind of wear over your pants that will cover your ankles and keep you warmer. And then you can slip them off when you start getting hot if you want to. So that's a way to layer. And I have talked quite a bit about layering. I have another video out there where I did share what to actually wear to Scotland. So it's kind of more of a full list and highlights than this one is, because it includes everything I did pack too before. This one's more the things I didn't pack. But I will link that video here for you to check out too, so you can see just kind of in general how to pack. And we will also be doing some more packing videos for sure. I'm also going to be sharing some travel wardrobe capsules for Scotland, how to put one together. I am an overpacker, so it's going to be interesting because I'm doing carry-on again. So we're going to have to figure out how to put all of this in a carry-on. While we're talking about socks, I also this time am bringing compression socks. Now, I have a specific circumstance going on. I am recovering from an injury. I broke both of my legs back in January in a ziplining accident. There will be no ziplining on this trip, by the way. But because I have limited mobility still and I'm still in physical therapy, relearning to walk, compression socks are something I just live in a lot anyway, which is really hard in Florida, by the way, but it's going to be perfect for Scotland. So I am bringing them along. Some compression socks. These are a little thicker. There are other types. You can get some that are even thinner if you want, whatever degree. I've got different colors, so they go with more things, a little more feminine. There are some really great ones I recommend from Bombas. That is an excellent brand, and like for travel and all, and they have some cuter compression socks for the girls that just have better designs on them. These are actually ones from my husband I've been using, and they're a little more masculine in my opinion. But I definitely recommend compression socks, first of all, just for all the walking you're going to do. Now, I do have some more ankle ones that are from Form Science that are arch support socks too, and they work a lot like compression socks for me too. I actually wore those to SeaWorld recently, and they held up great. But that was a better option, I think, for Florida, but being the ankle socks. For Scotland, I would say more just go with your compression socks, and then they're tall enough that they're keeping everything warm too. But it's also going to be great for the plane. We tend to swell up and have swollen feet sometimes from the plane ride, the air pressure systems. So this is just a great travel essential that I recommend for everyone anyway. Next, the number one piece that you have to have, this is my biggest recommendation of all, your most essential piece for Scotland, a rain jacket. Now, on the first trip, I did have sort of a rain jacket, so I can't say that I truly forgot that. I did have a jacket that did work pretty well, but it wasn't officially a rain jacket. It was kind of more of a sports coat type thing, and part of it was a little bit water resistant, and part of it was a little warmer. So this time, though, I'm bringing a true rain jacket. This one's a little thinner, so this is what I'm taking as more of like my layer. This just is to go on with everything. And this time I have a hood. My other one did not have a hood. Also, it was navy blue, so it didn't always go with everything. Like I kind of kept going back and forth between black and blue, and that I'd have to rematch things. I feel like black just kind of goes with everything. So this time I'm bringing a black rain jacket with a hood. This is the most essential thing. It rains every day in Scotland. Everything's kind of muddy and you'll be walking around in the rain everywhere. It's really no biggie. Later it'll clear up. You got all kinds of weather there, but rain is the number one. So you will definitely need a rain jacket. Now this time, this is kind of a luxury, but something I'm going to consider an essential, and I'm so grateful to have it this time. That is heated apparel. Now, I was kindly gifted a heated vest from Venustas. This is a heated apparel brand. They have all kinds of things, jackets, vests. They have lightweight jackets too. There's one on the way for my mom for our trip, so I'll be showing that to you. And she is so excited about it because she's planning to wear it more as layering. It'll kind of be her one and done jacket for everything. but also it's heated, so it keeps you warm. And then if you don't need the heat, just turn off the heat. So in that regards, it's great because it really truly does almost act like built-in layering, because you don't even have to bring multiple pieces. You just have your jacket that can be lightweight, but then when you need more heat from it, just turn the heat on. How genius is that? Now I have the vest. So far, I've got more things on the way. And so this is something I think I'm planning to take too. It is a puffer style. It's super cute. I love that it's white and goes with everything. And this is the button for how you're going to power it. So you would just turn this on, and then it has a battery that you can hook into it. The battery will go in where the pockets are. So it's pretty easy, and you can fly with this. I just want to let you know that there have been questions about this. There is a whole guide that they do have that they sent me as well, and I can put that down in my caption for guidelines, because each flight in each country is going to be different. But really, if you are presenting it in your carry-on especially, which I'll be doing carry-on anyway, that's where you're probably not going to have much of a problem. The worst case scenario is just having to present it. But read through your flight guidelines and everything, and Venustas did send me this really helpful guide for knowing what you need to do per flight. And I do have a discount code to share with you as well. And I'll put the info and their links down in my caption also, as well as any of the other things we talk about today too. I'll try to link it for you below. This is going to be so handy, is just having heated apparel in general, which brings me to my next item on the list that I'm bringing too, and that is gloves. So I didn't bring gloves before. That was one missing piece. This time, I'm also bringing Venustas. I've got heated gloves on the way. I've picked out these black ones, both for me and my daughter. So both of us are going to have them. They are kindly gifted as well from Venustas. And that is just fantastic because I had most areas of my body covered. One thing that really helped me everywhere that I wore on the entire trip was a beanie. This was on my head everywhere we went. Having a good beanie is definitely going to keep the heat in on your head too. So if your head and your feet are warm, it's going to really help keep the rest of you warm. But there were a few places that were still exposed, and one of them was my hands. So I do regret not bringing gloves on the trip when you're up in those really cold highlands. Really where I think it was the coldest is if you're doing boat rides, like on the Loch Ness. We took a ferry to Skye. That is where the wind is just coming off that loch, and it is just bone-chilling cold. And I wanted to be outside on the ferry, out seeing all the beautiful views. I didn't want to miss it, but it was so cold to be out there. My other friends were inside because they just couldn't hack the cold. So I'm like, if I've got gloves and I've got all these places covered, I can handle and brave those cold winds so I don't miss the beautiful sights. All right, and then another missing piece of apparel I didn't take before that I think is going to be an essential I'm going to bring this time. I was going back and forth on it last time just because it was yet another thing to try to pack in my carry-on luggage that was already tight, but that is a scarf. I think it would be handy to have a scarf with you, especially one that is a little larger that could be transformed into a shawl as well. That way, when you're on the plane, you can use it as a blanket, or you could even bundle it up and use it like a pillow. I have even seen a little trick where people have used a scarf that they've tied around the back of their airplane seat, almost like a little hammock for their head, and it's where they can sleep and rest their head. I don't know if I recommend that. I don't know how safe it is. You get a little turbulence. Don't want you to get like whiplash, but I've just seen that trick. So it can be a little bit versatile too and work for several different things. So that's why I do actually recommend it. And my sister's making me one right now. She loves to crochet, so she's working on mine. I requested just the color kind of tan neutral so it goes with everything. And then I can use that as another layer in addition to like my rain jacket, my heated vest, my other layers. And then that way I can wrap it at my neck too and keep the neck area warm as well. So that will probably be something I wear more in those chillier places also, up on the lochs, way up in the highlands where it's just especially cold. Now, speaking of the plane ride, here is another thing that is now an essential of mine that I will not fly without. So this is more for the plane, but a lot of folks going to Scotland are probably going to be taking a very long overnight flight, and including us. And I learned my lesson the first time. I did not sleep the entire night. It was a very brutal night. What was really hard was that I just could never get comfortable. I just couldn't get my neck and my head leaned in the right way to where I could really sleep, even with their airplane pillow they provided. So I am never doing an overnight flight again without a neck pillow. This is an essential. And I know that this works at just the right angle for me to lean my head and sleep because I've done it in the car now too on car rides. So I think that I can pull this off on the plane. So this is coming with me. You can just wear it right on your head onto the plane, and usually they'll let you bring it on without having to count it as a separate, you know, add-on item. Just wear it as part of your outfit. I mean, worst case scenario, you have to put it in your personal item, but this, I am not leaving without it. It's coming on the plane with me this time. And then that leads me to a couple of other things for the plane ride as well. That overnight flight is brutal. So not only was I exhausted, but I also just felt absolutely disgusting because no shower. So I felt very greasy and gross. I did, brush my teeth on the plane and put on some fresh deodorant and all, but it is really hard to feel clean. So this time I am definitely bringing some body wipes, just good old body wipes, just wash off the best that I can, feel a little fresher. I think that's going to make me feel a lot more refreshed, just to help with the sweat, the odor, the natural oils, just to kind of clean off a little bit. And then the other item I'll be bringing are some extra beauty supplies like skincare masks, like under eye gel masks, some of the things that are just going to help my face feel refreshed, be able to clean my face too, feel a little better for the next day, because often you're not going to get to a shower until like the next evening when you can finally check into your hotel or Airbnb or wherever you're going. So you're going to have that overnight flight. It could be a good 48 hours of no shower and you just feel disgusting. So these are a couple of the extra things I'm doing to pamper myself and feel better on that flight. On the subject of odor, shall we talk about one thing that I'm going to be bringing for kind of the odor control? And the biggest reason for this would be when you're doing a travel wardrobe capsule. If you're doing like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes, all in a carry-on, you would do something like a wardrobe capsule where you might only have 3 or 4 pairs of pants, 3 or 4 tops, and then you mix and match them and you continue to wear them over and over again throughout several weeks. The idea with this is you're going to choose pieces that kind of could all mix and match and go together and make all kinds of different outfits from that, so that you can pack minimally and not be lugging all of this luggage all over Europe. Sounds great in theory, but when it comes to feeling clean and like our clothes are clean, if you're reusing them over and over again, not ideal to me. But I'll be doing a little bit of this on this Scotland trip. I'm not going for, 3 weeks, but it'll be a good 11 days. And so I'm not bringing 11 days worth of clothes. So I am going to be reusing a few things. So I'm going to pack some like dryer sheets just for that like air freshener that's in them a lot of times, just to kind of refresh the laundry in my suitcase. Also, you can get those little baking soda sachets that you could put in the suitcase or in your shoes. If they get wet and gross and start to stink or anything, just kind of helps refresh everything. So that's going to be another thing I'm definitely packing this time, just with trying to reduce the number of things I pack and carry on. And then speaking of some of these beauty items, now for those of you who are new to this channel, I have a separate beauty channel. I share a lot of beauty products. I am a makeup artist. So this is my jam and my area. And one thing I have been talking about a lot over on the other channel is my beauty products for travel. And so I always keep all of the little beauty sets, all the things you can get in the stores, all of those, Sephora Faves kits, things like that, that have smaller deluxe size travel beauty sets. And I have an entire drawer here I have reorganized recently on that channel, where it's just all that, just travel beauty essentials. And so I really recommend more travel size beauty products that you pack with you instead of trying to get those little travel friendly bottle sets and all. Now, I do have a set from Kitsch that I am planning to maybe use for a few things, and it comes with these pre-prepared bottles that are TSA friendly. And I'll put this kit down below. You can get it on Amazon or their site. But I don't love doing this kind of thing with like the disposable bottles that are smaller that you pour your stuff into, because I find some of those really leak everywhere. They're hard to prepare ahead of time. So as many little beauty travel sets that already come this way, the better. You can even buy kits already ready to go, like a travel size shampoo, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo and conditioner, soap, bar soap, all that kind of stuff. They have a set at Target, they have a set at CVS. I'll link some of those that are easy, but I'm a little particular and bougie about some of my products. So I'll be bringing my own little beauty size sets. And over on that channel too, I do have a video talking about all travel PSA friendly makeup too, how to prepare your makeup bag, just more products that tend to not be liquids. They're more like trading it for solids, so that then you don't have to pack a separate makeup bag to present to TSA. And I can eventually bring one of those similar types of videos on this channel too. If you're interested, just let me know. All right, now off of the beauty topics, let's go back to apparel again and shoes. The shoes are a big one again too. So what I brought before on the first trip, I brought a pair of just regular tennis shoes. And so I just had this pair of Nikes. And that was great for like walking around Edinburgh. It really was fine. I mean, I was walking in the rain a lot, but it repelled pretty well. But then I also brought a pair of boots. However, they weren't really like hiking boots or ones with tread. I brought riding boots because I was going more for the aesthetics. I loved these riding boots. I thought they looked so British and perfect for the vibe I was going for. But they were not super practical because A, they were not waterproof at all. I had soggy feet, soggy socks, and B, they were not built to hold up in hiking or like the mud. Now on this trip, we won't be doing as much hiking this time, but I'm still going to bring things that are better for like the mud, because we will be deep in the Highlands. You're going to have muddy places. It's all wet. It's all grimy. And so this time I'm going to pack some hiking sneakers. I don't love hiking sneakers because I personally feel that they're ugly. They're just not the aesthetics I like, but this is what you need because you've got the tread on the back that's going to be so much better for the rocks, the mud, everything you're trudging through. They hold up so much more. My riding boots before were ruined after hiking the fairy pools in them, so you don't want your other shoes to get ruined, So these are what you're going to want, is more of a style that are built for hiking. So you could either do hiking sneakers or hiking boots, either one. But this is going to be an essential I'm bringing this time, unfortunately. I may bring another pair of regular tennis shoes also, or a pair of flats that are dressier. I haven't gotten there yet, but this is definitely the number one pair of shoes I'm bringing this time. And we'll just have to see as we start building my travel wardrobe capsule. So stay tuned for that video. All right, and then number 14 already, I think, and then we have one more. So another thing that's essential is going to be motion sickness medicine. I do get motion sick easily. Maybe not everybody will need this, but I definitely needed it. I get car sick very easily when we're in the mountains and on windy roads. And that is certainly what you will face in the Highlands. It's very mountainous, very curvy roads. And yeah, I was feeling really rough, really sick. So I'm bringing some motion sickness pills to help with that. Now, the first trip, I actually had Benadryl with me. The Benadryl was more to try to see if it could help knock me out to sleep on the plane. It didn't work. And then it just makes you really drowsy, but then I was still awake. There's some motion sickness pills out there that are non-drowsy that will help. Just always remember when you're bringing medication for the flight, if you have any prescriptions, definitely keep your labels present them to TSA, have them in a separate bag for all of your medication, and kind of check all the guidelines on how to pack your medications. And then the last thing, this might not apply to everybody. This is special for me, but it may be for some of my fellow photography lovers and people who take a lot of videos and pictures. And you're like me, that the camera, the phone, it is always out. And that's going to be an extra battery pack and external hard drive that's portable for your phone or for whatever you're taking pictures on. Because for me, well, I'm a content creator, so the phone's just, my camera's just always out. I am always in filming mode, and especially when I'm traveling, and I'm going to have all kinds of vlogs and videos for you guys from that trip. So my biggest nightmare as a vlogger is for my battery to die, which happens all the time. So I highly recommend at least a battery pack to recharge, which I recommend when you're traveling anyway, because you really don't want to be without a phone. If you have an emergency and you need to call, find your map on your phone, your apps, all of those things. You can pay through your apps a lot too in the UK. So you really rely on your electronics quite a bit. So definitely recommend a battery pack. And last time I did not have an external hard drive, and I know I'm going to run out of space. I also now film in 4K, and that takes up a huge amount of space. So a portable external hard drive's coming with me too to store everything. But like I said, that's not necessarily for everyone. It's especially for content creators and also just people who might be taking a lot of footage or just really rely on your electronics quite a bit. So that is everything that I have to share on items I wish I had brought the first time that I'm definitely bringing the second, and that I think are must-have essentials for you that you don't want to forget either. You can learn from my mistakes and definitely stick around if you want to see a lot more Scotland content. I've got way more coming for you as we're planning, as we're packing, and I'm definitely bringing you there for lots of the scenery, all the beauty there is to offer in Scotland. Let me know if you're headed there as well. And if you have any other tips you think are important too. Check out that other video though that has a lot of the other basics and things, a lot of other packing tips. And stay tuned because I'll have more packing coming as well, specifically for Scotland and other travel that we do here too. Happy travels, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Bye.